Good morning. Welcome to News for Hearing Impaired. I am Anil Thomas. With me, Manisha this morning. First up, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches France to attend G7 summit in Biarritz, holds extensive deliberations with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on key issues including climate change. Also holds bilateral meeting with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson to discuss ways to further cement ties in trade, defence and innovation. Participating in G7, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to speak in the session on climate, biodiversity, oceans as well as on digital transformation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to also hold bilateral meetings with United States President Donald Trump, Chancellor of Germany Angela Merkel and other world leaders. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to chair the meeting to review the left-wing extremism affected states. Meeting to be attended by the central ministers and chief ministers. Jammu and Kashmir government to hold elections to 316 block development councils across the state. Necessary exercise for early elections to the BDC is completed in Kashmir, while preparations in Jammu are in the last stage. In international news, police fires water cannon and tear gas in running battles with anti-government protesters in Hong Kong, the second day of violent clashes in the Chinese-ruled city. And in cricket, whereas India inflicts a humiliating 318-run defeat on the Windies in the first test match, England claim the third Ashes test thanks to an extraordinary innings by Ben Stokes. And now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was given official welcome at Hotel du Palace in Biarritz in France. He was received by the French President Emmanuel Macron on his arrival at the hotel where the G7 summit is going on. Earlier, Prime Minister arrived in Biarritz in France to attend the G7 summit. India has been invited to attend the summit as a special Biarritz partner country. Though India is not a member of the G7 grouping, Prime Minister Modi has been personally invited by the French President Emmanuel Macron. Ministry of External Affairs has said that the invitation was a reflection of the personal chemistry between the two leaders and also recognition of India as a major economic power. The countries which are part of the G7 include United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan and the United States. Prime Minister will also address an outreach session of G7 summit on Monday. Prime Minister is expected to address the sessions on environment, climate, oceans and digital transformation. Earlier, beginning his engagement in France, Prime Minister Modi held a bilateral meeting with the new British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The two leaders discussed ways to strengthen India-United Kingdom cooperation. Discussions focused on strengthening bilateral ties going forward inter alia in trade and investment, defence and security, ST and S&T and education sectors. Prime Minister Modi also congratulated PM Johnson on England's spectacular win in the third test of the Ashes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also met the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on the sidelines of the G7 summit. The two leaders had a fruitful discussion on a wide range of subjects. The leaders exchanged views on India's participation at the Climate Action Summit at the UN and other issues of mutual interest. World leaders are in Biarritz in France for the G7 summit. This year's host, Macron, has chosen to focus this year's summit on the issue of reducing inequality and has invited the leaders of Australia, Burkina Faso, China, Egypt, India, Senegal, Rwanda and South Africa to open up the discussions with other countries. On the sidelines of the G7 summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to hold bilateral meetings with United States President Donald Trump and Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is scheduled to chair a meeting with chief ministers of the left-wing extremism affected states to review the status of the issues related to the security and development in 10 states at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. Jammu and Kashmir government has decided to hold block development council elections across the state soon. Addressing the media, government spokesperson Rohit Kansal said the elections would be held for 316 BDCs across Jammu and Kashmir, for which necessary exercise has been completed in Kashmir, while in Jammu stage. He said the Rural Development Department is approaching the Chief Electoral Officer's office for holding early elections, for which the whole exercise would be hopefully completed by the end of September. On to international stories. A Hong Kong police officer fired a gunshot during protests on Sunday. This is the first time a live round has been used since demonstrations broke out in June. Images showed several other police officers also pointed guns at protesters who were chasing them with sticks and poles. In another first, police deployed water cannon against protesters earlier in the day. The protests began in the city's Soon Wang district and have since spread to the district of Sim Sha Su. Demonstrations were sparked by an extradition bill but have since morphed into broader anti-government protests, and developments on Sunday mark a serious escalation in the unrest. Dozens of angry Bolivians staged demonstrations on Sunday, appealing for global help to fight the raging wildfires devastating large areas of the Bolivian Amazon. The blazes burn unabated across vast areas of hilly tropical forest and near Bolivia's border with Paraguay and Brazil. Meanwhile, firefighters battled wildfires raging through Bolivia's Rovere region and the town of San Lorenzo on Sunday. At least 1 million hectares have been impacted by the fires. Bolivian President Evo Morales has said he was now open to international aid to fight the blaze and that have burned unabated across huge areas of hilly tropical forest near Bolivia's border with Paraguay and Brazil. Bolivia late last week contracted a Boeing 747 supertanker from the United States to help with the firefighting and have mobilized more than 2,000 firefighters as well as small aircraft and helicopters. But the area affected by the wildfire has nonetheless nearly doubled since Thursday. Sudan's newly created Sovereign Council formally declared a state of emergency in the city of Port Sudan on Sunday following tribal clashes that police say have killed at least 16 people. The acting governor and the head of the National Security Service for the Eastern Red Sea state, of which Port Sudan is the capital, were both dismissed, said Brigadier Al-Tahir Abu Haja, spokesman for the Sovereign Council. This comes at a delicate time for Sudan following the signing of a power-sharing agreement earlier this month. The Joint Military-Civilian Sovereign Council was sworn in last week, as was Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok, who is set to form a government later this week. On the sports, two-time silver medalist PV Sindhu was left speechless after a wait for the elusive gold finally ended with a maiden World Championship title in Switzerland on Sunday. Sindhu became the first Indian to win a World Championship gold by thrashing her rival Nozomi Okuhara of Japan in straight games 21-7, 21-7 in one of the most lopsided finals ever. It was Sindhu's 5th World Championship medal, the most by a female singles player, alongside former Olympic and world champion Zhang Ning of China to go with 2 successive silvers and a couple of bronze medals. Congratulatory messages started pouring in for PV Sindhu, who became the first ever Indian to claim gold in the World Badminton Championships. President Ramnath Kovind in a tweet said that congratulations PV Sindhu for winning the BWF World Championship. This is a proud moment for the entire country. Your magic on the court, hard work and perseverance enthralls and impresses millions. Best wishes, world champion, for all your future battles. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated PV Sindhu. PM Modi in a tweet said that the stupendously talented PV Sindhu makes India proud again. Congratulations to her for winning the gold at the World Badminton Championship. The passion and dedication with which she has pursued badminton is inspiring. PV Sindhu's success will inspire generations of players. Union Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju congratulated PV Sindhu for the historic win. Rijiju in a tweet said that PV Sindhu creates history by becoming the first ever Indian to claim gold in the BWF World Badminton Championships. India is proud of PV Sindhu. My hearty congratulations. Government will continue to provide the best support and facilities to produce champions. On to cricket. India inflicted a humiliating 318-run defeat on the Windies in the first test as Jasprit Bumrah dismantled the hosts with a 5-wicket haul after Ajinkya Rahane found his first century in 2 years in Antigua on Sunday. West Indies were chasing a stiff 419-run target, but Indian pacers led by Bumrah demolished the hosts, who were all out for just 100 in 26.5 overs. Staying with cricket, moving to Ashes, Ben Stokes' unforgettable innings of 135 not out led England to an incredible 1-wicket victory in the 3rd Ashes Test on Sunday against Australia. From 286 for 9, Stokes and the last man Jack Leach, who made 1 not out from 17 balls, added 76 for the last wicket to carry England to one of the most memorable wins in their 142-year Test history. The series is now tied 1-1 with 2 matches to play. But that's all we have time for in this bulletin. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.